Hey folks, Alan Saunders, Brendan Howe here at UPMC Rooney Sports Complex. Just wrapped up the first day of Pittsburgh Steelers Rookie Minicamp 2025. Got our first look at the 2025 NFL draft picks from the Steelers. Also a couple of tryouts here that are interesting. And we talked to Omar for the first time since the George Pickens trade. A lot to break down. We'll start with practice. Brendan, you were on the offensive side of the field. Got a good look at Will Howard and about second-round pick Caleb Johnson. Also interesting, Trey Sermon, Ohio State back with a lot of NFL experience. Here's a tryout. What did you see over there?
Yeah, so obviously it was a little slower. It was a walkthrough, so not much. I don't even think Howard threw the ball. There was only one pass, and it was Caleb Johnson. I don't think Howard was the one who threw it there. But kind of what stood out to me was Caleb Johnson isn't the same sort of body type as Najee was. He's a little thinner. With that, could probably have some breakaway speed there, or that sort of body type to do that. Rock Taylor was a big, we know he's a big body, but standing 6'3", you see him, he kind of stands above the crowd there. So he's someone to obviously watch out for here. But it's cool to hear Will Howard say, you saw the NFL films where he was begging the Steelers to draft him. That wasn't a play. It seems that he genuinely wants to be here. He drove from his hometown here yesterday, said 4-hour drive, so maybe he'll be making that one whenever he feels like it. So it seems like he actually wants to be here. That wasn't a play for the cameras.
Yeah, I talked to Caleb Johnson, said he ran 3 to 4 miles on the treadmill yesterday, right before practice. He's a total workout gym rat freak, and he looks like it. I mean, you see the player with the pads on the tape, and then you see the person underneath him, and you're like, wow, this guy's jacked. I think a different kind of athlete at the running back position than the Steelers have had. I think that's pretty exciting. On the other side of the ball, I was watching Derek Harmon and Y.A. Black most of the practice session. Man, that's a couple of big, strong dudes. I think Derek Harmon is even bigger than I remembered him looking in person. But he's so explosive. I think that's the thing that makes him such a special prospect. Is he's big, but he's not just big. He's big and he moves quickly. And then Y.A. Black, there's a funny moment. They're hitting the sled, and defensive line Carl Dunbar's on it, and he went for a little ride. Y.A. Black, he was going right through the brakes. So I think obviously those two guys, they have a lot of trust and faith in to rebuild this run defense and get it back to where they think it should be. And it's shorts. It's hard to really evaluate defensive linemen other than just what the player looks like. And that's two big boys, two strong guys, and explosive. I think they're not slow and fat. They're just big and they're fast. I also got to talk to Derek Harmon a little bit for the first time today. Obviously, we didn't get to interview him much after his draft pick because of the situation with his mother. Said, he's still working through the emotions of all that, but he's really happy to be back in pads playing football. Said it's been an unbelievable experience being with the Steelers so far. So good to see that for him, and obviously still grieving, but said he thinks football will help that process for him. So for that, glad he's here and getting this work in. Anything else that stood out to you about talking to the prospects or the first day of these guys in a Steelers uniform?
Yeah, well, Jack Sawyer went for Will Howard in the draft there. He's also a guy who stands out in stature when you see him at first. Watch him with the Buckeyes as an Ohio State fan. So what he's able to do there, but he's also one of those guys you look and you're like, he's massive. So he said that in his media scrum that the people at his party cheered louder for Will Howard getting drafted than him. So his family's there. I wonder how that kind of feeling was. He's obviously good friends with Will Howard. He hopes to be able to kind of continue that relationship throughout his Steelers tenure here. So I thought that was really funny that he said that his family was more loud for Will Howard than they were for him.
The big news of the day, Omar talking, not really a scheduled appearance, not something we usually get here at rookie camp, but felt like he needed to address the media after the trade of George Pickens earlier this week. He said the trade came together quickly. The Cowboys made an offer they felt like they couldn't turn down. Felt like things were the right time for both Pickens and the Steelers to just get a fresh start, and that's why they decided to pull the trigger. So that third-round pick is something they were looking for. It's good value. They couldn't say no to that. And so, he also said that he feels comfortable with the receivers they have in place. Said he wouldn't have made the trade if he didn't feel that way, but also, acknowledged that there is some time to add to that room and that all options will be on the table in terms of adding playmakers to the offense. It sure seems like Omar Khan is going to be busy here in the next couple weeks trying to find a way to backfill that receiver position after the trade. Anything else you took away from Omar's little scrum there with the media?
He mentioned he's comfortable with receivers. He talked about seeing Roman Wilson out here in the past few days or past few weeks. defense, and that's a big one that they're hoping, or that you kind of hear that they're hoping to make strides this year. Wasn't really able to play last year. I don't think he actually saw the field much, did he?
Like one snap, maybe, I think.
So he's a guy that they're hoping to see kind of progress here, and that'll be a big thing.
All right, we'll have lots more from the second day of rookie minicamp here tomorrow. Until then, for Brendan, I'm Alan. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.